right? We have, of course, if I get the Asian range out, we see Monday's price action, in my opinion, not giving us the A+ trades we want to see, right? So what we're going to do is we're now going to break down an FOMC from what FOMC trade from Wednesday. So just a quick overview of this, right? When you're trading high impact news events, right, the best way to kind of go about them is to understand the best moves will come often during the events or quite often after the events, right? So let me give you an example of price action you want to avoid, right? So this here was New York session. All of this over here was New York session. So this was around 10:15 and this ended at around 12:30 p.m. Eastern, right? So this is price action you want to avoid, right? It's one day before FOMC. It's not the best place to trade, right? So often the best traders know when not to trade and to preserve their capital, but also their mental capital in and around market conditions, especially when there's high probability news events. So let's just quickly go back to the 1 hour time frame, our higher time frame, right? So from here, what we've seen is the following, right? So we've seen price, we're still now in the premium because we're above this 50%, and price has left a fair value gap over here. And this is what I want traders to kind of understand, right? If we break this down. So if we take a look at FOMC, right, this was the FOMC movement down. How could you have caught this FOMC movement using a trend exhaustion, right? Because this is the series of the videos, right? Trend exhaustion with ICT concepts, right? So this is where we're going to be analyzing price action using the fair value gap concept. So this is a fair value gap you can see over here. Now this is actually the POI, right? So how do I differentiate my POIs from my fair value gaps? This here is the fair value gap, right? So you can see a fair value gap resting just below the POI because the POI is over here. So why am I using this candle as my POI? So very simply put, it's the candle before the fair value gap. That is the point of interest. That is the area of supply in this region. So when we go down now to the 15-minute time frame, we're looking for a potential, well, we had multiple rejections even on the 5-minute time frame. So on the 5-minute time frame we had multiple rejections here. We also had our FOMC rejection here, and there was also a lower time frame entry over here before the final move down. So quite erratic price action, I think. But what we're going to be focusing on is why the trend exhausted at this POI. So why did the trend exhaust itself over here? So let's kind of break this down, right? So when price taps into a POI, all right, let's break this down. So when price taps into a POI, what we're looking for is we're looking to combine our entry with a power of 3. So what do I mean by that? So that basically means if we go to the PO3 and we change it to 4 hours, so we are looking to basically sell when